Welcome to Timeless Tales. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating concepts in mathematics and philosophy, infinity. We'll explore what infinity means, how ancient Greek philosophers thought about it, and even discover who invented the infinity symbol. Let's get started. Have you ever tried counting to infinity? You start with 1, 2, 3, and just keep going. But here's the thing, no matter how long you count, there's always another number after the one you just said. That's what infinity is, a concept that describes something that never ends. In this video, we're going to explore infinity from both ancient and modern perspectives. Infinity might sound tricky, but let's make it easy. Imagine you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can keep counting forever, right? That's infinity, something that never ends. Now, not all infinities are the same. Think of a line of people waiting for ice cream. Even if the line keeps getting longer and longer, you can still count how many people are in line. That's called countable infinity, a misnomer in my opinion. It should be called listable infinity, but there's another kind of infinity where there are so many numbers between 0 and 1 that you can't even count them all. That's called uncountable infinity. I would rather call it unlistable infinity for the same reason. Let's go back in time to ancient Greece. Zeno of Elea was a philosopher who loved to challenge people's understanding of infinity. One of his most famous paradoxes is called Achilles and the tortoise. In this story, Achilles races a tortoise that gets a small head start. Even though Achilles is faster, Zeno argued that Achilles could never catch up because he would always have to cover half of the remaining distance to the tortoise, which could be divided infinitely. This paradox shows just how tricky infinity can be. Now, let's talk about Aristotle, another famous Greek philosopher. Aristotle had a different take on infinity. He believed in what we call potential infinity. This means that infinity isn't a thing you can hold in your hand or see all at once. Instead, it's something that could keep going forever. For example, if you keep dividing a line into smaller and smaller parts, you can do that endlessly. But the whole infinite thing doesn't exist at any one moment, it's a process that continues. Now, let's fast forward to the 17th century. The infinity symbol we use today, this sideways figure 8, was introduced by an English mathematician named John Wallis in 1655. Wallis used this symbol to represent the idea of something that never ends. It's a simple yet powerful symbol that has become a universal way to talk about infinity in math, science, and even everyday life. Let's explore a fun idea called Hilbert's Hotel. Imagine a hotel with an infinite number of rooms. Even if every room is full, you can still add more guests. How? The manager simply asks each guest to move from room 1 to room 2 to room 3, and so on. Now, room 1 is empty for the new guest. This thought experiment shows how strange and amazing infinity can be. Infinity also appears in math when we talk about infinite series. Here's a simple example: if you add 1/2 plus 1/4 plus 1/8 plus 1/16, and keep going, you might think it would add up to infinity. But surprisingly, all these fractions together actually sum up to 1. This idea shows how infinity can sometimes give us results that seem impossible at first. Infinity isn't just a concept in math, it's also a part of how we understand the universe. Scientists think that space might be infinite, meaning it stretches endlessly in all directions. And what about time? Imagine if you had infinite time, what would you do? The idea of infinity in space and time opens up endless possibilities and deep questions about our place in the universe. So, what have we learned today? Infinity is a concept that describes things that never end. We explored how ancient philosophers like Zeno, Aristotle thought about infinity, and how the infinity symbol was introduced by John Wallis. Infinity challenges our understanding of the world and reminds us that some things are truly endless. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the infinite. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.